Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the latest edition of Lowdown Entertainment. I'm your host, Joe Adams, along with my co-host, Rich Reiner.
Good evening.
We also have VFW Commander Tom Sally in the house.
Hello.
Welcome aboard.
Considering it's his house, I think it's only
Yeah,
proper we do
yeah.
it.
We're going to get to Tom in just one second. It is officially the Shellhammer kickoff show this evening. So we have a ton of people here, and I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming out. Thank you so much. Brenda's still not smiling yet. She's not excited. But we had some racing over the weekend, Rich.
Yes, we did. All in central Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Day show and a night show. So
Yes.
if you were fleet of foot, you could probably make both of them. But of course, we started off with the short track super series at Selinsgrove. We had the modifieds and the sportsmen. Good field of cars. I think it was like 40 some modifieds. And unfortunately, not much passing in the feature. Guys who started 1-2 finished 1-2 was Mike Maresca and Billy Patch Jr.
Yeah.
And then the sportsmen, a little bit of carnage in the sportsman race.
They made some junk.
Yes, somebody asked me who won at Selinsgrove in the sportsman. I said Bicknell, Barrett's.
Parts houses.
Yeah, but and of course our guy Joe Toth, the local guy here, won the sportsman race. So congratulations, Joe, and the Belmont guys. And then down the road about an hour at Lincoln, the World of Outlaws came to town, and really good car count, 49 cars, 410 sprints.
There was I happened to be in house for that
Yes, you
particular
were.
show, and it was chilly, to
Yes.
say the least.
Yep.
However, the place was jam packed. Amazing crowd. I kind of thought that since there was some other racing going on, that things would be spread out a little bit more, but that certainly wasn't the case. As Rich said, the car count was amazing. There was some key players there that I didn't realize were actually going to be there. Spencer Basin was there, Buddy Kofoid was there, Ryan Timms made the tow, and for those of you who don't know, Rico Abreu won Saturday night, and that was his 2023 debut, so not
Yes.
a bad way to start off the season. On a side note, this is unprecedented as far as I'm concerned. There was 8 provisionals taken that night.
Yeah,
What happened there was it was very cold, it was very windy, and from the start of time trials, those guys timed very, very well. And as the conditions worsened and the wind picked up and the track dried out and everything, there was such a huge gap in time between the guys that timed first and like the second flight, and some guys were struggling,
yeah, a lot
struggling.
A lot of the
like
outlaw
some good iron was struggling.
Yeah, that B main was Shots was in it. Casey Kane was in it. There
Yeah.
was a lot of really good cars in that B, and they just got caught up in the qualifying deal with the track changing like it did.
Absolutely, but
Little Freddie Raymer had no problem with that track until he had some issues there in the feature.
funny side note on that too. Rico actually got together with Little Freddie a little bit, and there may or may not have been. It wasn't confirmed yet. There may not have been a W-link issue with Rico's car because they did get together, but it may have tweaked it enough that Rico felt that the car was even better.
Loosened the
after
car
that
up,
happened.
yeah. He
So
said. And
rather be lucky than good.
our friend Justin Peck came from 12th to 5th.
He had a great run.
Had a good run. I texted him right after that and said, if you qualify better, you might win a few of those things because you're always coming up. And he had something that I'm not going to repeat when he called back to me. So, but good
Yeah,
job.
Justin's very colorful
Yep. Yes, he
in
is.
his text messages and
Yes,
in real life.
yes, he is.
So
Great guy. So.
Awesome. Again, we thank everybody for tuning into the chat. If you have any questions for anybody here throughout the night in the live chat, you may certainly reach out to us and we'll get your questions answered. So I think we're going to turn this over to Mr. Tom Sally, the commander of this very establishment right here, the VFW Post 5954 right here in lovely downtown Red Hill, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Good to have you aboard, sir.
Well, pleasure to be here.
Thank you. I personally have to thank you for allowing us to be in this venue.
Hey, our
And I'll let Rich take over on this deal, but you have done some pretty amazing things in the community here, and I'd like for you to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, our post is trying to connect more with the community, and definitely I think we're being successful.
Yeah, well, so far, Tom's my boss here, and so far we've given awards to the police officer, first responders, and teacher of the year.
Yeah.
That we gave awards to. We also gave awards to. We had the Patriot Pen and the Voice of Democracy that we sponsored. Actually, had somebody win districts.
Yes. Yeah.
So we had a winner. Yep, went on the states. And we do help vets. I mean, that's our number one thing is we do a lot of stuff with vets because that's what we're about. Everybody that I lost something, Scott.
Go ahead.
Okay, everybody that has a name out on the wall there, we're all combat veterans or veterans of a conflict, and what our job is to give back to vets that near need. It could be anything from a place to stay, something to eat, some medical help, some help with their benefits, funeral benefits. But we also give back to the community, and people don't realize that. We have a breakfast in this building every first Monday.
Second Monday.
Second Monday, excuse me.
It used to be first, yeah.
It used to be the first, now it's the second. The meeting's the first. And we usually have the local merchants and people donate the food,
Yeah.
so it's very little out of pocket. And what we do then is that we charge $8 a breakfast, and you can get eggs, bacon, scrapple, ham, potatoes,
Some
everything.
of the best scrapple.
That's
Dan
some of the
Max
best scrapple. Yeah, Dan Max scrapple, Major Dan Max scrapple. And entire proceeds, we don't take a dime. It goes right to the charity, and we'll name the charity before. I mean, we've given to fallen police officers, we've given to families in need. And this time with that, we did it with Leo's League,
Right.
and we'll talk a little about that. But Tom, you're the commander here. I know where you're from and where
Well,
you've been. Why don't you
well,
tell a
yeah.
little bit about your life and how you got here?
Grew up just outside Philadelphia, went in the Air Force in '83, and spent 21 and a half years in the Air Force. Ended up spending a couple deployments overseas with Desert Storm, and you know all about that.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, and then follow up with Iraqi Freedom, and then a couple trips to Afghanistan, and finally wrapped up my career in 2004. After the second go around in the desert, so wanted to keep giving back. Joined the VFW, and now we still serving. They say.
Yep, still serving this day.
Now, well, no one does, and I'm proud of nobody does more for veterans or the community, I think, than the VFW. We do also have our honor guard. We had just had 3 funerals this week, unfortunately, but I mean that's something your last rites that you give out to the veteran. So we have honor guard does that. And we also, as you said, we're there for veterans in need. We help them out if they're down on their luck. We also have something as simple as loaning out. We have car trailers, we have covered trailers, we have tools, so veterans can borrow if they need to do a side job. Little things like that makes a big difference.
We even have a washer and dryer here.
Yeah. Some
Guy needs to wash his clothes, and come here and wash his clothes.
we have had veterans who couldn't afford to go to the laundromat and pay $30 a week, so we put one in here, sure. And it's something else we can do. But then again, you're like going on to the past veterans. We have the memorial in town that we're renovating.
Yes.
Putting the paver stones down with veterans' names. Tied in with that is our memorial page, where we have the stories of every veteran. That gives us their information on the webpage free. Doesn't cost anyone anything. And if anyone out there wants to get in touch with the with Post 5954, we'll be happy to put their veterans' information on the memorial page, as well as adding them to the memorial in town. That's going to be finished up by Memorial Day. We'll have all the bricks down or we currently have, but we'll be continuing on with that. For at least the next couple of years, I would think we'd be able to have plenty of room. We do lease the ground where the memorial is at, so we're in control of that. It's just a matter of connecting with the community and giving back.
Yeah, and I'm on that page, my uncle's on that page, and my grandfather's on that
Yep,
page.
as with me, me, my uncle, my
So
father,
we're
my
all-
grandfather, yeah.
So we have all our family members are on there, and if you have somebody that's been a veteran, you can actually bring them in, and we'll make a page for them.
Sure,
You don't
sure.
have to be a member or anything like that. We
No.
do that.
No, and even if you're not comfortable with using computers or anything, we take care of that for you.
Yeah.
We'll scan the pictures in, we'll update all the information, and it doesn't have to be recent. I have some veterans from World War I, some veterans from Civil War on there, and it doesn't have to be someone who was in combat. Every veteran served in their time and place and did what they needed to do. And that's, as much as the VFW is an organization set up of combat veterans, we do for all veterans. And, it doesn't matter if you were in during time conflict, not you're a veteran is a veteran. And we take care of all of our.
That's right. And you're probably wondering how we pay for all this. Well, another thing we do is you see there's live music on tonight. There's usually something happening in this place every night. We have karaoke, we have trivia night, we have live music.
Yeah.
We'll have like cheesesteak night sometimes. We'll do that.
Yeah, we
So-
have different foods. We have different guests come in. We've
Yep.
been very fortunate that we've had an increase in membership, pretty much you're right. Every night, it's tough finding parking
Yeah.
out there, and that's a good problem to have.
Yeah. And so we pride ourselves on that. We went non-smoking. That really helped out a lot.
did.
And we can have more in here. We can have Boy Scout events. We can have things like this because we're non-smoking.
Right.
And we're all worried about it, but it worked out pretty well for us. As you can see, it's like this pretty much every night.
Oh yeah, and I mean, to our smoking comrades, we have a very comfortable
Yeah.
area outside with a heater, undercover, so it's not a matter of just throwing anybody out in the cold.
Yeah, we took care of you.
We take
took
care of
of you.
everybody here.
But,
Yes.
well, speaking of our breakfast, our breakfast this past 2 weeks ago was, as you know, Joe and Bear and I are involved in something called Leo's League, which is a young man who's fighting with kidney cancer. He's 4 years old. And I came to Tom because that's what we do. We do reach outs. And the main thing I wanted to talk to him about was they're going to have a car show and things up at the firehouse in Schnecksville. And I just wanted, we have that dew stamp out front. And I said, let's bring the deuce up and set it up. The kids love it. You know, we put candy and that out. And he said, we'll do you one better. He goes, we'll sponsor the Leo's League as part of our breakfast.
Sure, yeah.
So we did have the breakfast last week. And Tom, I'll let you go ahead and tell about it.
We had a good turnout, and we brought in over $750 from the community, just ordering pancakes and eggs. But beyond that, the Post just decided that we're going to round up and donate $1,000. And this isn't the end. We're going to continue to raise money and trying to help out any way we can.
Yep.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And for a $500 donation, I'll stand in that mop suit out there in the hot sun for 2 hours.
Wait till August, then
Yeah.
make them do it, all right? Yeah.
Nope, not like I've never done it before.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's what we do. I mean, everybody thinks you got to be a vet. No, you
No.
don't. We have social memberships.
No.
You can come in,
Yeah.
and most time you walk in here, there might be 2 or 3 we consider post members, which are Tom and I that are actually here, and the rest are social members. But they make the world go around here
Yeah.
for us.
Well, can I ask you this, Tom? If someone in the area wants to become a member here, how do they go about?
Well, there's a place
signing
for
up?
everyone. And as
Okay.
Rich said, we have social memberships. That's someone who was never in the military or their members of their family were in the military. But then we have different levels. We have auxiliary, which is a family member of someone who was serving in a conflict. And, so they come in the auxiliary. Our veterans, as I said, we have post veterans, we have auxiliary veterans, and we have social veterans. And when we go on trips, and we've been going on more and more of them, we cover the cost of all veterans. It doesn't matter if they're a post member or not. The post takes care of our own. And so if you're a veteran out there thinking, oh, I can't join the VFW because I wasn't in a conflict, does not mean that's so. Please come in and see us, and you'll still join. A veteran is a veteran. We'll take you on trips. And the families, too. We just went down to Washington back in November and had a slew of family members and social veterans, as well as regular social members, sign up and come along.
Yeah.
Nice Perkins tour bus, spent the day down at Arlington. It was awesome.
That is
So,
awesome.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
everybody
so
has a place.
Yeah, if anybody is interested in getting involved with some community outreach programs, give the VFW a look.
Sure.
Or if you just want a place to come in, have a nice cold beer, and listen to music.
At a third of the cost of
At a
anywhere
third of the
else.
cost anywhere else, by the way.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. Good food
Yep.
at reasonable prices.
We do
excellent
have
beverages.
the coldest beer in the Perkins
Yes.
Valley.
Oh, most definitely. And everyone says that.
Everybody
We have
says
the coldest
that.
beer in town.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we touched upon Leo's League, and if I could take just a moment here to go over some things with Leo's League. We've been talking about this for the past few weeks, and I've been really pushing about getting some cars there for this. There's a lot of things going on. Leo is a 4-year-old boy, for those of you who are not familiar with this, that is battling the big C word. And it's a tough deal. He obviously never asked for it. No one ever does, but he's 4. And we kind of made a vow to each other that this young man wanted to have a car show, and he wanted to see cars and trucks and pretty much anything that has wheels on it. And we said, you know what? We're not going to screw around. We're going to get this kid some cars and stuff. So this thing has kind of taken on its own deal, so to speak.
It's got its own life now.
It really does.
Yeah.
And we're actually just a very, very small part of it, to be perfectly honest with you. The people that are spearheading this are doing a fantastic job. It is going to be Saturday, May 13th from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. It is held behind the Schnecksville Fire Company, right where the quarter midget track is, the Keystone quarter midget track. So there's a huge field back there. So we're going to try to fill this field up with as many cars as humanly possible. And just to sweeten the pot a little bit, there's going to be bands there playing from basically like 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock. The Noe Gibney Trio is going to be there. Scott Marshall and the Highway Souls are going to be there. New Formal is going to be there. And Reservoir Hill is also going to be there. And for you foodies out there, there's going to be some food trucks, which one of these is, there's actually a couple of them that are very interesting. Back Home Bagel, Vince's Cheesesteaks. If you ever had a Vince's Cheesesteak, you know that's a home run.
2 thumbs up right there.
Yes. Lehigh Valley Barbecue is going to be there. Slide On By is there. This one's just for you, Mr. Geezer. Donut Lab
Yes.
truck is going to be there. True story.
Yep.
And Queen V Wraps. So Going to have some great food there. It's going to be a lot of entertainment. The car show is basically going to go from 9 a.m. to about 4. So any of you racers that want to bring your race cars there, you got plenty of time to get in there and get back out and get to your favorite track. So there's going to be vendors, crafts. There's going to be a kids crafts area. There's also going to be a basket raffle from 9 to 5. And here's the best part. This is all you, buddy. Steinmetz Family Farm is going to have goat snuggling. So that's from 6 to 8 p.m. So we can all go hug a goat.
So, and since we talked about that, I've reached out to the Mack Truck Museum and Mack Trucks, and they are going to do something. They're going to have guys come. And Tom and I have reached out to Mr. John Haynes about bringing some of his neat stuff.
Of the Haynes and Kibble
Of
House.
Haynes and
fame?
Kibble House, yes. Yep. John, oh, by the way,
He's got some pretty hefty
yes, he
equipment,
does. He's got some
too.
nice stuff. Yeah, Mr. Haynes, by the way, excuse me. Ooh. He doesn't like me calling him Mr. Haynes. John is a member here. He straightened me that one time. I called him Mr. Haynes, and he put me straight.
And yet there you go calling him Mr. Haynes.
I know. Hey, it's hard. When your name's on the side of every dump truck in Montgomery County, it's hard not to
True
call him Mr.
story.
Haynes.
True story. So
Sorry.
again, we just the outreach that the VFW has done here in the community has been just absolutely stellar. We commend you for that. There's been a few people in the chat that said thank you for your service.
Thank
so
you.
we thank all these guys for their service. Thank you for everything you've done, and thanks for allowing us to be here, Tom.
Awesome. Hey, you're more than welcome anytime. It's
Great stuff. It's very, very nice chatting with you. Very nice
Great.
chatting with you.
Good, brother.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we're going to roll some people in here, some faces that you're probably familiar with, maybe not familiar with. Miss Brenda Cordier is here this evening to represent Shellhammer Speedway, and Shellhammer Dirt Track. I'm sorry, that was my bad. That was my fault. And Mike Feltenberger, what do you call yourself, Mike? You're not the announcer. The informer. He's not the announcer. He's the informer. So we're going to get these two fine people on here in a few minutes and chat with them about what 2023 is going to have in store for the fans and the drivers at the Shellhammer Dirt Track. So hang tight for some more lowdown entertainment. We'll be right back in a few short minutes. And welcome back with some more lowdown entertainment. Joining us now is co-owner of Shellhammer Dirt Track, Miss Brenda Cordier. Brenda, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And next to her left, the informer, not the announcer, the informer, Mr. Mike Feltenberger. How you doing today, bud?
Thanks for asking me.
And joining us down at the end, what's his name? Can't think of it. That's Bear. That's our boy Bear. We haven't seen Bear for a long time.
Prez.
The Prez,
Prez.
El Presidente
As Mike
of
introduced me
Lowdown
to
Entertainment.
TV.
It's great to have Bear back on there with us. So we're a week out.
We are.
Are you nervous?
No,
Everything's under control.
absolutely.
That sounds too easy. Now, you do have a practice schedule for this Saturday,
Yes.
and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it kind of looks bleak for the home team weather-wise.
Correct.
So when do you think you'll let teams know that practice will be canceled?
It depends on how much rain we get Thursday night.
Okay.
And Friday. We could call it Friday, or,
Like early Saturday.
well, it would be very early Saturday.
Okay.
Because gates would open at 9.
And any driver that is involved with your track can get most of the information through your Shellhammer Dirt Track community page, correct? On
Correct.
Facebook.
Yes.
And that is a private page now. That
It
is
is.
not a open community page. So if someone is not involved that would like to be involved with that, how do they join that particular page?
They just send a request, and then we review it.
Okay, so anybody could actually hop in there and
Yes.
and get involved. So the weather is going to be a little bit iffy on Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. So just be prepared to stay home and not do anything. So as far as that, you said that we may get some heavy rain Thursday, and that's going to be a determining factor. Did you get new clay on the track this year?
We did. Dave put the new clay on the track early this year, and he's been massaging it the last few weeks in between the rain and the snow and everything else we've
Yeah,
been handed.
the weather has been. We've been very fortunate here in the Northeast, snow-wise. We haven't had too much, and the temperatures really have not been terrible, but it's been a little moist.
Yes.
You wanted to laugh at that, but you refrained. But and that makes it tough when you put new clay on a surface. That all has to mesh in and knit in with the existing stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And excuse me, and it has to settle some. And Dave does a fantastic job. with the
Yes, he
track.
does. Yeah, the track. Just from me floating around your facility on a Wednesday night, one of the most common things I hear is this track is so easy on tires. And tires were an issue last year as far as just availability and for everybody. So we can expect to see more of that, the same of that for 23.
Right. We always try to help the racers any way we can. And, the way Dave prepares the track, takes care of it, gets new clay as soon as he sees it needs it to have clay, so that it's less abrasive on the tires.
Right, right. Yeah, it's always an excellent surface. So we have Mr. Mike over there.
Howdy.
Mike on the mic. So you have some things cooking generally every week at the Speedway. And I have to say this, for those of you that have never been to Shellhammer Dirt Track, it is probably one of the most fan-friendly racing facilities anywhere. It's you don't just come in through the front gate, watch a race, and then just go home. There's always some things going on, and Mike has a lot to do with that. So, Mike, you want to touch upon some of the things that you have cooking for us this year?
Well, when I first started there, the first thing I asked, well, it was a couple of weeks, and I said to Brenda, how about if we do something a little exotic? And she says, well, what do you have in mind? I says, how about if we give back to the fans? We'll do a lucky wristband concession stand voucher. And if you have the lucky wristband, you get a $10 concession stand voucher. And it's to the point now, Joe, where people are actually coming to track to win a concession stand
Yeah.
voucher. And the nice thing about it is we have 2 sponsors for every week for the whole year. And then during the course of the season, people will chime in, can I have this week? Can I have that week? And I believe we have Jimbo's Gutters for a full year sponsorship. IBA Karaoke's coming in. Tom Heaster, HO Raceway and Tires is coming on again this year. Weichel Sportswear is going to do it. And Outen Jeep in Hamburg.
So let me get this straight. As a fan, if I go there as a fan and you draw my ticket, I get $10 worth of food for free.
Yes, and we also do that for the pit crews.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So you're getting on both sides of the fence there. That's very impressive.
Right. We appreciate everybody coming to support the racetrack. So in our way of giving back is you show up and you have a chance of getting free food, and you can't beat that. But then we also have the Fan of the Week, which is sponsored by my daughter.
Aha. And what does the Fan of the Week entail?
It's a lucky wristband again, but they actually get a free pass for a future race
Anytime.
anytime.
That is pretty cool. You just don't see this kind of stuff anywhere. So we really appreciate you guys doing that kind of stuff for the fans.
And I just came up with a new one for this year.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be sponsored by Strapped In, the TV show on BCTV. And what it is I'm going to do a random draw every week, and a lucky driver is going to get a free pit pass for the next week.
Nice. Very nice.
So we're
They
giving,
get to walk through the back gate
and
free of charge.
I'm paying for it.
Good for you.
Yep.
Good for you. That's great stuff.
Yeah, my daughter sponsors JMF Inc. That's my daughter. She sponsors the Fan of the Week, and I'll be doing the pit pass of the week.
Good.
We're very blessed to have the supporters that we have, and people just, step up to, and they want
They-
to be involved and help.
They do. It's really nice. And I've told this to other people too. Shelley's just kind of has this old school vibe to it. It's just a much more laid back environment compared to most other tracks. It's not quite as intense. Don't get me wrong, the competition on the track is hot and heavy, but everybody just kind of has a much more laid back approach about everything, and it's very affordable to attend. What is regular general admission price for the front gate?
$10.
$10.
Ages 12 and under are free.
Wow. And for a pit pass?
20.
20. Do you have to, is there car registration fees or anything like that?
Yes. On a Wednesday, the car registration fees are $35.
Okay.
On a Saturday, when we have go-karts, it's $20.
And that's another thing that we could touch upon too. I mean, we're kind of hitting the Wingless Wednesday deal, but you do race on Saturdays as well. And when you say go-karts, is it just one class of go-karts, or are there a multitude of?
There's a multitude of go-karts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our roots. That's what started the whole thing back in 1975 was go-karts.
Mm-hmm.
And we have, a whole arrangement of classes and ages from age 5 on up.
So that they're starting out. You've seen like generations of racers.
Absolutely.
Since '75. You've been open that long, so you've seen them start at 5 and go all the way up through, turn into adults, and maybe some of those adults have
They-
children there
they're
now.
bringing their children back.
Yeah,
it's
I know of
awesome.
one that may be here that started out there at Shelley's as a child, and their father may have raced there, and even their grandfather.
Uh-huh. Yeah, oh, yeah.
So-
We're very proud of the fact that Lindsay Garl is not only our track champion in the All-Star Slingshots, but she's also Miss Motorsports.
Yes.
We're very proud of that.
Yes, and we are very proud to have her here in house this evening. So thank you, Linz, for coming on out. So it's good stuff. I do have a question here from chat for you, Miss Brenda.
Okay.
Somebody wants to know who your favorite in-car radio guy is. I'm not going to tell you who that is.
I don't have one. I don't play favorites.
Wow. Eric, you just got smoked. You just got smoked. Harry on also says
Harry.
there's also go-kart practice on Sunday.
Yes.
Yes.
I was not even aware of that.
Yes, we do have practice scheduled
Thank
for
you, Harry.
Saturday and Sunday. Hopefully we won't get too much rain that we would have to cancel on Sunday as well. But Sunday's practice is for go-karts, slingshots, micro midgets.
Okay, so there will be no 600
No.
micro, no 125s and all
No,
that
the
kind
track
of stuff.
is totally different.
Okay.
It's prepared differently.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's Wingless Wednesday for Saturday if we run, and Super Saturday classes on Sunday.
on Sunday. That makes perfect
Correct.
sense. And how is the track prepared different? I'm curious about this.
You'd have to ask Dave. No. On a Wednesday night for the bigger cars, it's looser.
Okay.
I guess I don't know if that makes sense. And then he has a cushion. He tries to
Yeah.
have a cushion as well. For go-karts, they have to have it almost like pool table smooth.
Oh, that makes sense because I mean you're 2 inches off the ground, and typically a go-kart does not
It's a
have a
lot
cage
smoother, right.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Barry, would you like to interject with anything on this? Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for stopping by.
You're welcome.
So, take care.
You know, the funny thing about it is we did the TV show for
I-
BCTV, and with the panel, everybody's calling him Bear. Well, I've been racing 8 shows at Heaster since the early 70s, and that's what they call me there. And when Mike Fitzgerald started saying that's what Bear said, I'm thinking, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
You're going to have to
Yeah.
change your nickname, pal.
Yeah.
I've had it longer than you.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up later. That Mike's show, Strapped In Magazine. It's not magazine anymore now.
No,
you
it's
kind of dropped the
It's
magazine.
the
portion of
Strapped
it.
In Auto Racing Show on BCTV.
There you have it.
With a
And
new intro, by the way.
Yes.
I heard about the new intro. It's good stuff.
After 14 years, we finally, and then we put it on YouTube. It was supposed to go on today, but the person in charge of the internet service was a little sick, so they didn't show up today. So we're hoping it goes on tomorrow.
So you'll be, if it goes out tomorrow, this will be the episode with
This
Bear.
will be the 2023 season preview show with
Oh.
Bear, Morgan Rochelle
Rochelle.
Beeler, Eric Gambler, and Mike Fitzgerald.
Wow, very
I
nice.
appreciate that having me on here. That was fun. I'd do that again anytime you want.
Well, you can come on the end of the season show if you want the fan forum show.
Nope.
Kind of a bookend. Start the season with Bear and end it with him.
Two miserable shows.
Yeah, that's it. But viewership's going to be down for those two.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
It's going to be tough though because my most watched show on YouTube, I had a show about slot car racing. It had over 8,000 views.
Wow.
So
That's impressive.
They're doing pretty good.
So this slot car racing stuff is pretty huge, huh?
Yes, that and radio controlled racing.
I see RC racing has gained leaps and bounds again. It kind of resurged. It kind of died out, and now it's there's a skating rink that got converted into
Right.
a racetrack close to my home, and people just go there in droves. It's unbelievable. These guys are spending like a shit ton of money on these RC cars too,
Big
man. It
business,
is
man.
crazy
And
stuff.
John Woolman's very good at it.
I've heard that before. Yeah.
Yeah, race car driver John Woolman down at Granby is very good at it.
Good deal. So Brenda, you had all winter, and again, we've said that, it has been pretty mild and not so bad, but it has been a little wet outside. But what other changes at the facility can we expect to see?
Well, we're blessed to have a sponsor step forward, Levan Machine and Truck Shop out of Reading. They paid for a new scoring tower.
So are we gonna have a lap counter
A
this year?
lap counter.
No
yes.
way.
Yeah.
Really?
So,
Now where's that gonna be at?
right above the main flag stand, right above Dave.
Okay.
In his flag stand. It's gonna keep it pretty simple. It's gonna show the lap and it's gonna show the top three.
Yeah, but still, that's cool because sometimes when there's, especially like the 600s, when they get ripping around there and get into lap traffic, it's hard to tell who's who.
up.
It's really tough. So the lap counter is going to be huge. Good stuff. And thank you, Levan Machine and Tool, or Machine and Truck. Okay, thank you to them. So they come out very well. Also, you have sponsorship opportunities for billboards and signage and things like that around the Speedway. Is that offer still good for 2023? Can people hop on board with that?
Absolutely. And this year, I had actually quite a few people contact me.
Great.
And they've come on board. So you're going to see some
Good.
new billboards this year.
Good. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. There's been some talk about some food issues, not food issues per se, but concession stand issues. Has that all been? Can we go to your track next Wednesday and fill our bellies? Because you have some of the best concession stand food ever. Seriously, it is really, really good stuff. We're not going to be missing out on that stuff, are we?
No, absolutely. Yeah. We're doing some additional renovations
Okay.
to the existing concession stand. They're not completed yet, and it's going to take another few months for all of that to get completed. So what we did 2 weeks ago, we purchased a 20-foot concession trailer. So for a few months, we're going to actually have a concession trailer that we'll be working out of, but it's ours. We bought it.
Oh, good for you. Now that will be parked right inside.
Not really sure.
To be determined.
To be determined. They're thinking of putting it between where the registration
Yes.
end of the building is and where Diane sits in the yellow
Yes.
ticket booth.
Yes.
Like putting it in between there.
Oh, okay. So they just have to go outside the fence there and
Yeah.
just grab their food and go
Well,
right
no,
back
they
in.
don't have to go outside the fence because there's a big gate
that's
right
right.
there.
There's
so
a
the
gate
gate
there.
can stay open, and then
Okay.
the window would be right.
Right there.
Right there.
Well, that's a good idea. So that should work pretty well.
Yeah.
And we were hoping that your husband Dave would have been here tonight, but you said it was probably going to be tough because he's thrashing yet, isn't he?
Well, any chance that he has a nice day like today was,
Yeah.
he's going to be at the racetrack now.
Right.
So, and he doesn't come home then until late in the evening.
Yeah. So we'd have missed out. And this isn't his full-time job. I mean, he
No.
works a full-time job besides taking care of the Speedway, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So he's tired. He's he's exhausted. No comment.
Okay.
Or you're glad he's gone.
Brenda, one of the big concerns we heard about last year was parking in the pits. Has that been alleviated at all? Can we go forward with any news on that?
Well, I can't say that the parking issues have been totally what'd you say?
Alleviated.
Alleviated.
Joe told me big words.
Yeah, these big words. But we do have additional parking. There's a clearing. We actually own over 7 acres there for Shellhammer Dirt Track, but most of it is under wooded area. So a big area has been cleared for additional parking. So when you come in, and if you're going to go into the pit area, you're going to be directed initially to go straight down, and then you'll pay for your pit pass, go park, and then you're in the pits.
Okay.
So, that's the best that we could do with the time that we had over the winter months. But as time goes on, more and more land will be cleared.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
'Cause
Well,
sorry,
sorry, go ahead,
We
go
do
ahead.
have ARDC midgets coming this year, right?
Yes, we do.
So they have some big haulers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would be a concern.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting because they're actually coming in on a Saturday evening. Now, they said they would probably only bring roughly 10 to 13. So, not getting too excited as far as parking or anything
Right.
like that. But then they're going to stay with us. And then the next day, when Richie Hartman has his big show, that Sunday, I think that's June 4th, then ARDC will be part of his program as well.
Is this the first time ARDC has ever held a race at your facility?
Yeah, they've been after us for quite a while,
Really?
and we just kept saying no. We needed to get new fencing, new walls, and that's all in place now.
Right.
And so.
So
make it happen.
they've been after you. I find that really interesting because it's a small track. What are you technically, like a fifth of a mile?
No, an eight.
An eighth of a mile.
An eighth of a mile.
So yeah, that's pretty small.
Small.
So the ARDC is going to be wailing it around there. That should be interesting.
Yeah.
Does it make you nervous?
No.
Okay, nothing makes you nervous, does it?
Not
No.
really.
Except sitting here right
is.
now.
It is
It's
what it is.
What did you say, Bear? Except me?
Nothing.
Yeah, I heard that. Speaking of the parking thing that Bear brought up, what happened last year? Just to clear the air, I show up at your track, and there was a huge field next to you that now has trees planted in it.
Yeah.
And I just got there, I was like, what the heck is going on here? And like, it really kind of threw the wood to a lot of people.
Well, that field initially was owned by the Berks Conservancy,
Mm-hmm.
and then they turned it over to, help me out here, Mike.
Your guess is as good as mine.
I call them the tree huggers.
Yeah.
But anyway, they turned it over to a different organization, Berks Nature.
Okay.
And so my in-laws had a lease agreement with them, and they came to Dave and me the end of 2021, I think it was, and said, we're not renewing the lease. We got a grant, and we have to spend the money, and we're going to plant trees.
Wow.
And I asked if we could have another season, to work with.
Yeah.
And, they said no, they needed to spend the money like right away or they would lose the money.
Right.
So they planted their trees, and that made us really tight, as far as parking. So we do have a little lot across the street from the track, which is owned by us. We do lease the car lot out front for parking, and across the highway, which we didn't realize people were parking over there until those people came to us. So we started a little lease with them.
Oh,
You
nice.
can park across the highway if you so choose to
Right.
cross that
To-
highway.
yeah, yeah.
And then, like I said, then this past winter, we were able to clear, for
Wow.
parking
So
of our own.
how long after you got the initial phone call or conversation from the tree huggers that said, we're not doing this anymore? How long did it take till panic set in after that conversation? Because
Well-
that's an oh shit moment right there, because that is a significant chunk of ground for people to
They-
park on.
They told us in December that they weren't renewing the lease. But they didn't officially tell us until the beginning of March that year that we couldn't use the land at all.
That stings a little bit.
Because it did sting because we were opening the end.
Yeah.
2 weeks after that.
Right.
Then that's when panic
So
mode
you
came.
had absolutely zero time to prepare for this.
Correct.
You literally had 2 weeks until your
Yep.
season got underway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's why we try to do our best as far as parking the trucks and trailers in
Yeah.
the pit areas, so that the area that we do have outside can be for our spectators.
Correct.
So we do have, additional spectator parking this year, and it should not be a problem.
Great. And I do see that the pits have all been laid out already. That is up on the Shellhammer Dirt Track community page.
And that has changed again, so it will be reposted
Okay.
on Friday.
It's those people that bring those big honking huge trucks and trailers like the USS Warner that take up all the room.
She's ignoring me.
She is ignoring me. There must be a delay. Yeah, so so everybody's had their hands full all last year. As far the pit parking was a thing, the spectator parking was a thing. So, we told everybody that was willing to listen last year, just be patient. Please be patient with us. Everybody is trying their best. It doesn't just suck for you; it sucks for everybody. So
But
just
we all know how patient racers are.
no, yeah.
There is a serious question in chat here
Oh, okay. Let's.
from Jason Kohler.
Oh, Jason.
So when are we scheduling super late models?
Oh, hell hasn't frozen over yet.
Oh boy, my goodness gracious.
Oh, Jason.
That was a
I'll
good
get
one,
you
Jay.
back.
He's aware.
Yeah.
There, I like her silver crown idea better.
Silver Crown.
Silver Crown,
Push
yeah.
Off at Cabela's,
Yeah, that would work.
right?
Wow. Wow. So when is that date for ARDC? Do you have that off the top of
January
your
3rd is Saturday, and January 4th is the
January?
Sunday.
June
June.
3rd and
So-
4th.
Yeah,
June.
June 3rd.
Yeah.
June.
June 3rd and 4th. Okay. And you said the Sunday show was a Richie.
Richie
Richie
Hartman.
Richie
Hartman
Hartman,
production.
Slam
Yeah.
6.
Wow. Good stuff.
Richie's tuned in, by the way.
You know, the thing
Thanks for
about it
tuning
is,
in,
Rich. Hey, Richie.
you know, we're talking about this, but we probably could have ran in January with the weather that we had in January compared to what we're.
True.
Yeah, Mike, you bring up an interesting point. I've been saying this for years and years, and not that anyone listens to me, but would it behoove track owners to start in April and race through November instead of trying to start in March? Because March just seems, it's just such a crapshoot with weather.
Well, I'm going to address that if you don't mind.
That's fine.
First of all, we really don't race in March. I'm speaking for our track. We don't. We try to have the practice or test and tune days at the very end. And then we end the end of September. The year that COVID hit, we had a late start because we had to wait till we were approved to race.
Right.
And we ran till the end of October. And it was cold.
Well, you're right by the river there. That makes a little bit of difference for
Yeah.
you.
So for us, I don't want to race.
You don't want to go past September.
I don't want to go past September.
That makes sense.
Nope.
Makes sense. It just seems like March is just such a crapshoot for so many speedways.
But if you look at the racetracks that are currently running, the big car tracks, they're not getting their full amount of entries because those drivers and owners are worried about engines blowing up because of the cold weather.
That's a very real thing.
So you spend $50,000 for an engine, you go out for 2 laps of hot laps in the cold weather, and you're out $50,000. And it just amazes me. And they had a heck of a crowd for that Lincoln opener, but it's just one of them things that the cars want to show up. The modifieds, that was just, they shouldn't even had it for that car
Right.
count. But
Right. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. You take that deal at Sealands Grove on Saturday when so many cars and drivers got balled up really bad. That's a tough way to start a season. You get out to these early race venues and your car gets destroyed, and now you're kind of behind the 8 ball for your regular Friday and Saturday night deal. If you're, especially if you're a points racer, so it's a tough deal. It's a very tough deal.
can I mention the wingless Wednesday classes we have then?
Absolutely.
Okay, we have for the micros, we have the 600s, the 270s, and the 125s. We have the junior slingshots, the all-star slingshots, and the Richie Smith created Stage 1 modifieds. And for as leery as Brenda was about bringing them on board, I believe they might have been the second highest attended class at Shellhammers last year.
Is that right?
I think they averaged 18 cars a week.
That class grew.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. And we're satisfied with, 18, 20 cars in a class. We don't have to have 50, 60, 80,
Right.
100
Right.
cars in one division. That's not us. We're not equipped to handle that.
Exactly. So,
We are the highest paying small car track in the country. I went through all these and I did my research, and we are the highest paying small car track in the country. Plus, we had a $14,000 point fund.
that's very impressive. That is great stuff. Great stuff.
And sometimes I feel bad not being able to give more back to the racers, especially at the banquet. But when you have all the Saturday divisions that we have, and then, including the Wednesday divisions, we have one banquet for everybody, it's a lot that we're.
There's a
giving-
lot
that
going
we're
on
giving
there.
out, yeah.
There is a lot going on. Well, all of us here at Lowdown Entertainment are very proud to be sponsoring opening night, which is next Wednesday, and we have a few things cooking.
Now that I'm nervous about, no.
You should be. You really
I'm
should
We only
be.
had a year to talk about it.
Yeah. We kind of come up with this concept here several months ago.
Shoot from the hip.
And like, how cool would this be to do this? And we're kind of excited about it. We've had a lot of people hop on board. There's some really cool stuff happening. I'm going to address the white elephant in the room now because we were just talking about it a minute ago. What if we rain out next Wednesday?
Well, you're welcome to have it the following Wednesday,
Sweet.
or the Wednesday after that,
Or
or
whatever it takes. Okay, so we're not
Whatever.
gonna. Okay.
Nope.
Because we have a lot of things going on. As Mike has mentioned, we got Junior Slingshot, All Star Slingshot, Stage 1 mods, 125 micro, 270 micro, and 600 micro, and we have a representative from each one of those classes that we're going to have out at the meet and greet in Victory Lane, and Mike is going to, he doesn't know it, but he's going to come down and help us. We're going to do a meet and greet. So I just volunteered him.
Yep,
That's
thanks,
fine.
Mike.
You're welcome.
In the junior slingshot, we are going to have Ryan Rochelle, otherwise known as Earl. His car was just, freshly minted car was just picked up last evening, so that is ready to go.
Who lettered?
I don't know.
Okay.
So in the All-Star Slingshot is Mr. Slingshot himself, Mr. Brett Bieber.
The GOAT.
Yeah, he's just the guy is just phenomenal in that class. In the Stage 1 modified class, we're going to have a guy in here that many of you probably do not know or heard of. Super, super nice guy. We were actually going to have him in as a call-in, but unfortunately some things kind of went a little wonky at work, and he was not able to call in. That is Mr. Anthony D'Alessio. Anthony is kind enough to... Anthony's flying in
Yes.
at lunchtime on Wednesday, and he's going to race the Stage 1 modified provided by Smith Fabrications. And he's going to fly out Wednesday night. So that is a commitment to excellence right there. So we really appreciate Anthony doing that. And in the 125 micro class, we have Chase Ware representing right back to Chase is here. We appreciate him being in-house. 270 micros, we have Richie Hartman's going to be representing. And in the 600 micros, we have none other than Joe, Mr. Donut, Geezer Finelli, who is also in-house. So we really appreciate these gentlemen stepping up. And we're also going to be graced with none other than the 2022 Shellhammer track champion of the Slingshots and current Miss Motorsports, Miss Lindsay Garl. So it's going to be great to have her there. There's going to be some autographs being signed. We have glow sticks, green glow sticks, green glow stick necklaces. So what we want to do is once it gets dark, we're going to have everybody crack these things and get a nice photo from the infield of everybody, because we're going to hand them out in the pits and everything else.
Pack the grandstands.
Yeah, hope so. And some of these people are kind enough to step up and really make our meet and greet ordeal even more festive. I know for sure that Chase Ware he has a sponsor named Fraywell Processing. They're going to be giving out some meat snack samples and things like that. The owner of Richie Hartman's 270 is Stevie Walters. He is going to be providing all the fans with what the size there?
11 by 17 checkered flags.
Checkered
for autographs.
flags.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so drivers can sign them. Our main squeeze, Mr. Geezer Finelli, is going to give away 5 G shirt. They're not T-shirts anymore. They're G shirts.
G-shirts.
Yeah. So he's going to give away 5, but there's a catch. You got to pay attention. You got to go up to Geezer and you got to say, "Ace is the place." If you say that, you say it right. First 5 are going to get a free tee. Keith Gerhardt, now he's down to 4 because Keith Gerhardt just said Ace is the place, so he gets a free shirt. So this is going to be some pretty cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what else do we have going on, Bear?
A lot.
Yeah.
Well, you nailed it, basically.
Well, we're going to be setting up some GoPros too that night. We're going to be getting some,
for sure.
some
We'll
footage.
have cameras in cars and at the meet and greet and around the track.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll put out some good videos there. We got a drone. The drone that we had in Trenton is coming. So Mike, you'll be flying the drone at night, not you. You got your own job.
Yeah, Mikey. Not to interrupt you, Mikey, the drone flyer, pilot, whatever you want to call him. This dude is phenomenal. We were able to make contact with him and get something going for Trenton, and I do believe we kind of pissed there first. No one's ever done that before,
Right.
the Trenton indoor race. So we were only allowed to do it for practice on Friday, due to insurance purposes. But Mikey is phenomenal, and he has some killer footage. Mikey he'll get into rally racing cars, and he will sit in the passenger seat with the goggles on and fly the drone right above the car as they're racing.
Yeah.
True story.
Very
Guy's
cool.
phenomenal. And he also gives virtual house tours. He will fly the drone into the house, into every single room, and back out so that the potential client can check it out without even being there, which is mind-boggling to me. Very, very nice young man. So glad to have him on our side of the fence here too.
Well, we learned on my TV show that Ryan Rochelle will now be a regular 600 micro competitor at Hamlin on Saturday nights.
Whoa, I didn't even know that. See, we're all learning stuff
In
here.
fact, Morgan said he's faster in the 600 than she is.
Oh boy.
She's worried about him out qualifying her. So that ought to be an interesting night up at Hamlin on Saturday nights.
How old is Ryan?
11, isn't he?
It's 11 now, I believe.
Yeah, he's a really nice young man. Hell of a wheel too. Just unbelievable how good of a race car driver he is at such a tender age.
I learned today that we do have one car committed from Linda's that will be there opening night for us just because it's LDE night.
And that is?
Tyler Henry.
No way.
Yes.
That is very, very nice of him. Oh, I failed to mention too, and this is my fault. Stephen Smith is also going to join us for our meet and greet as well. Yes. Stephen has come on board and has happily been carrying our LDE logo on his freshly lettered hot rod. And while I'm talking about that, I have to give a shout out to Mark Moore, who is also running our logo on his car, on his 602 crate. Tyler Henry, as you said, he has that on his car. Ryan Rochelle has that. We have pretty good representation on that. It's cool about the lettering guy. He just makes it as big as he wants to. So kind of walked right into that. And then huge shout out to a rookie, 5 years old, Taden Hartz, and his parents, Taryn and Troy Hartz, allowed us to run our logo on their car too. So he's going to be a fresh new competitor down at Phoenixville Speedway this year.
We got representation at Mahoning Valley Speedway with Corey
Edelman,
and the triple nickel with Mackenzie Smith.
awesome.
Wow.
So we're everywhere you want to be,
Yes.
and then some.
Can I ask you a question, Joe?
Yes, you can.
Are you going to be the concession stand connoisseur again this year?
Absolutely, absolutely.
He said as long as you get chitlins and the Dutch
Yeah,
platter,
yeah. The Dutch platter is the only way to go.
That feeds 3.
Yes, it does. Yeah, and I eat enough for 3, so it works out well. No, the food at your place is absolutely phenomenal, and I don't know what the secret is in those cheesesteaks, but those things were phenomenal.
We'll never tell.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine that was really, really good stuff.
We got some good chat going on here too, fellas.
Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions from anyone that is here? Does anyone have any questions for Brenda or Mike? Everybody's shy. Geezer, you got to come up and talk. You have to.
Are we having rubber donuts this year?
Well, in the chat,
Here we go.
There we
Geezer's
go.
getting prepared.
Yeah, Geezer's prepping.
In the chat, we got LDE will be represented at Snydersville Raceway all year long. Thank you, Alex Greensway.
Yes, thank you, Alex, so much.
Mark Moore loves to support us.
Thank you, Mark.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And the question is, did you ever consider streaming Winless Wednesday?
Well, you know, there's a lot to be considered with that. We considered it, but we choose not to because we'd rather have people in the grandstands than sitting at home. You know, with the amount of money that we give back to our racers, we feel, you know, we'd just rather have you in the grandstands supporting the racers that way than sitting at home. You don't make not so much that the track is looking to make money, but of course we are, or otherwise we wouldn't stay in business. But it's just not the same.
Yeah.
We always. I always tell people, if you're sitting at home, we can't sell you hot dogs.
Yeah.
That's true.
You
That's
know
true.
what I mean?
And is food sales a vital part of, a weekly
Absolutely.
ordeal?
Yes. Yeah. We always say, we don't really make money off the racers.
Mm-hmm.
We take it in, we give it right back.
Right.
Because, they're paying $55 to race, including their pit pass.
Mm-hmm.
It's $50 to take the green.
Wow.
Yes.
So
That leaves you with pennies.
Yeah. So yes, that's where we make our money, in the
Right.
concession.
Right. If you sold donuts, you could probably make an extra 10 grand a week. Speaking of donuts, and by the way, someone is requesting that Geezer comes on here, but
Yes.
you probably should. This is the official G-shirt. This is, if
G-shirt.
the first 5 people that say Ace is the place, this is what you're going to get. That is what you're going to get. Come on, Geezer, say a few words for us.
Come on up.
Let's
Come on,
let's
Geezer.
talk about your 23 season.
There you
here.
go.
No, we got
This one.
Here we go. Here we go.
There it is.
There's also people requesting you
That's
don't
somebody
come
else.
on at the same time.
There you go. Joe Geezer Finelli, welcome aboard.
Check your shirt out, buddy.
Oh, this is a special one. This
Yeah.
one is printed upside down.
There you go.
If you know,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. This is the one that I'll be wearing with pride because I happened to let her car for Geezer several years ago, and I lettered it upside
That
down.
looks nice.
It does look nice.
22.
That is
That's
perfect.
special.
That is so cool. So, Geezer, welcome to Lowdown Entertainment.
Thank you.
And are you all set? You all set to go for next week?
Yeah, we're ready to go. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Can't thank the Greens enough for the garage and the help through the winter, and we rebuilt everything that we could, and we're ready to rock and roll. Looking forward to running at Shelley's with Brenda, Dave, and the crew.
They're great people.
They're the best around.
They are. New equipment for you this year? Same equipment as before? You just
Same,
refreshing her up?
Freshen some things up.
Yeah.
Really just kind of picked and chose what we wanted to do
Mhm.
to make it right. So.
Okay, you went from a 600 mod to a late model to a sportsman and back to a 600 micro. What was the thought process? Did you feel a little bit more of a challenge in a small car, or was it just the idea you felt you could race better with a small car?
I'll tell you, the small cars are great. I mean, I actually was in what they used to call the dwarf cars in the 90s.
Right.
And then, that got my feet wet. And then, the 600 mods are great for learning how to handle cars, and the speeds are better as far as that goes.
Right.
Late models were a big boat, like driving a big cruiser. Then I went into the sportsman to, maybe, then I got a modified. I've been in a lot of different cars. They're all great. You learn different things from different cars, different tracks. I take a lot of notes. I traveled many states and many tracks. Kind of learn from each place. But I'll tell you, the home crowd feels
Yeah.
Second to none at Shelley's right now for what I'm doing. I'm having fun with all of the young
It's
whippersnappers.
yeah,
out there.
it's a real fun place to be. My God, the only thing you haven't driven is like a top fuel dragster at this point.
Well, I was eyeing up
When's
that
that
tank out there. Are the keys in the tank?
Jeez.
I was wondering if maybe opening night I might get that.
One
Yeah.
problem is, Geese, is that the Army gave it to us and kept the engine.
That's a
okay.
shame.
Put the 600
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
There you go. Yeah, why not?
Well, yeah, going to different cars. I mean, the competition's always top notch. I found that, and
Yeah.
the driving style and the power and things are all different. Every car you get into, whether it's a 270 or 600, you can get in one car, get into another car. You have to learn real quick, a couple laps, what it wants to do, and drivers learn from there.
Do you find that the 600 beats you up a little bit more physically? It's a little bit more physically demanding than the big car?
It's funny, but it is.
Yeah.
It's tighter for me because I'm a skinny
Yeah.
little old.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
skinny
you're,
and old.
yeah.
But it's a tight
you're really-
cockpit, and
Yeah. Really whittling down.
And who's going to be your lucky number picker this year?
Kathy
Geezer?
Green should be picking the number. 2 years ago she was top
The
five.
worst you started was
Yeah.
third in the heat out of the
Last
whole
year,
season.
I got to see a lot of tail tanks.
Yep.
And, that's okay.
Yeah, it didn't go well for you last year.
So, but it's all good. I mean, that's fine. You take what you get. And,
Yeah.
You know, I'm just.
Now, do you have less garage time working on a 600 than you did a Sportsman or a late model?
Yeah, by a ton.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Smaller cars,
People
easier
in the
to
chat
maneuver
room are
around. You don't
beating
need
you
as much help. And
He has a lot less time in the garage because Kathy does everything.
well,
So
it's true.
yeah, no, we have to give a huge shout out to Kathy. Kathy, thank you so much for she's just
Yeah.
she's the glue that holds the whole G
Her whole
operation.
family lets me,
the whole family it's a
join the
family
garage
affair.
whenever I want. And do
That is
my
so
thing.
cool.
Yeah, they come out and help.
Yep.
Danny, Gavin, Scott, they all help too. Sally.
Good stuff.
Is on the crew, and Missy helps out whenever she can.
Of course, when she's not delivering Twizzlers,
Yeah.
she's coming to the shop.
But yeah,
So
it's all about the racing family. We're the
It
greatest
is.
group around. So
it's true.
you know, thanks for having me, and Brenda and Mike and Baron. You guys do a great job promoting the sport.
We're trying, brother.
You know,
We
so
are
thank
trying.
you. I'm not going to take up any more of your time, but thanks to the VFW for having us.
Yes.
If they have any kind of sticker they'd like to show on a car, I'd be glad to fly it.
Look at that. There you go.
There you go.
There you
What
go.
happens is people say, "Hey, what's that all about?" And you start spreading the word, and they
Yeah.
tell somebody, and then somebody might become a member. Or donations, car shows. We're ready to do
That's
all
right.
that for you. We'll
Yes.
do whatever we can to help you out.
Will you be coming into the Leo's League? Can you make that?
Yeah, it's on
Is
the
that-
schedule. Yeah.
That is awesome. We
Yeah.
really, really
Yep.
appreciate
I
that.
heard about a donut truck,
The
and that's all.
donut truck.
The donut truck. Yes. Yeah.
So-
That just pulled you right in.
If Leo gets a little bit of that, he's going to be
Yeah.
doing good.
Yeah, exactly.
That day.
So before you bounce off the microphone there, bud, who do you need to thank to keep your operation running besides Kathy? Who do you have
Well,
sponsorship
really, the
wise?
Green family, their whole family. They,
Mhm.
like I said, I'm there 3 or 4 nights a week, and
Yeah.
weekends using their power washers and their electric, doing everything. And Ace Hardware,
Mhm.
Westchester,
Mhm.
couldn't do it without them.
Yes.
They're the primary sponsor. Looking for more, but
Always.
I don't push that
Right.
because it has to be right.
Right.
And Ace Hardware is right.
Well, I've always picked on you ever since I've known you, but I've always said one thing about you, Geezer. You are the absolute best at promoting your sponsors. I've never seen anyone promote the people that back them
Thank you.
as well as you did.
I appreciate
And I paid the $500 buyout op on the Geezer. What was that called?
Geezer Gazette about
Geezer
20 years
Gazette.
ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You got it for free, but if you wanted to opt out of it, it cost you $500. Well, I was willing to pay the $500.
That
I
500
don't-
went a long way.
Yeah, because I was not digging that coming through my email every week.
You probably just didn't like the capital G's. On
Yeah,
that.
exactly. I did not.
We were talking about this earlier. Is tire wear very affordable at Shellhammers?
Yeah, yeah.
How many races can you
I
run?
mean, I'll be honest. I flip them, I groove them, I grind them, I sipe them, I do all kinds of stuff because you got to make them work. The right rears, I mean, probably once a month. But then the other tires can go 3 races to 10 races.
That's good.
Wow, that's great.
Fronts all year long.
Really?
Yeah. But yeah, it's a great track for that. Can't thank Brenda and Dave enough for
Yeah.
track prep.
Yeah.
And the payout. Like you said, you sign in, you make the.
You got
field,
your money
you
back.
got your money kind of back, and any kind of issues we have at the track or any kind of promotions we want to do for the fans, Brenda's been very accommodating.
That's
So that
awesome.
means a lot.
It does.
You're kind of putting your blood and life, guts and soul into this.
You
thing,
are.
and then you
Yeah.
have good people who run the track who they understand.
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
you're not just
You feel appreciated.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you said that because I've been in pretty many racetracks in my lifetime, and the most appreciated I think I've been is being at Shellhammers.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the
It's the truth.
vibe at the Shellhammers, their track. So it's
Good
all
stuff.
Yeah, so I'm fortunate.
Great
I won't-
stuff.
I won't keep you.
No, that is great. Thank you, Mr. Geezer.
you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Enjoy
much for
your
the
shirt.
shirts too. Excellent job.
There's an interesting question.
Yeah, I was just going to get to that. Yeah.
Chat. Do you want to take
Yeah.
it?
No, go ahead, bud. Go ahead.
So Brenda, that's how Morgan started the show last week too. Since we aren't doing the Reading Fair races anymore, is there any chance of making the Golden Hammer a 2-day show?
I don't know. It's not something that anyone proposed to us.
I just did.
Your favorite in-car radio guy just proposed
Right.
that to you.
I'm not the sole decision maker, So that would be something that would have to be run by Dave. And sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, it sounds like an interesting concept.
And I think I could speak for Mike. That's his favorite race ever.
Yes, that was on my show.
It was on the show.
Mm-hmm.
That event is amazing.
The
The
Golden.
Golden Hammer is just a cool night of racing.
Yeah, you know,
And our biggest YouTube video ever.
good.
When is the Golden Hammer?
what is it?
Oh, the Golden Hammer? The Golden Hammer? Go ahead. This was a question from our producer. What is the Golden Hammer? What is the Golden Hammer?
Well, you know, have you heard about the golden drillers that they get
Chili Bowl.
at the Chili Bowl? Okay, so you know, guys pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to win a trophy at the Chili Bowl.
Plastic.
Yeah.
Plastic trophy.
Yeah.
Right. So my husband came up with the idea, well, we'll give you a trophy if that's what you want, you know, and we'll just call it the Golden Hammer because, you know, our name is Shellhammers, and a lot of times, you know, the nickname is the Hammer, you know, so we adopted the name the Golden Hammer. But we wanted to make it a little bit different by doing time trials for the 600s, because we consider that like the main class for the evening. So we do time trials, and you know, we have our own little alphabet soup going on. You know, we could have a D main, a C main, a B main, you know, all the way up to the A main. It's very interesting, you know, and there's been guys over the years that came from the D main right into, you know, up into the C main. So it's neat. It's just one night and maybe 2 nights of, you know, a lot of fun.
Can
It
we
really
turn
is.
this into an entire week?
Let's do the Golden Driller month,
Yeah.
the Golden Hammer month. Yeah, what the heck?
wow.
That's great stuff. No, it's an awesome race. It really is, and there's a lot of money on the line for small cars for that deal right there. So it's
Yeah. So, but I will definitely run that by Dave.
great question, Eric. I'll tell you what, for the second most popular radio operator, you did all right there. I would like to see if I could talk Chase Ware into coming up here for a second and have him talk about his sponsors for this year. What do you think, Chase? Come on up here, bud. This is our 125 micro representative, Mr. Chase Ware. You on there with you in 1 second? Good. You're good to go. Hi, Chase. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. I appreciate you coming up here, even though you didn't want to. But so you're going to be running the 125 ranks again this year. Now, this is your second year competition, correct?
Yes.
What did you learn last year that you're going to take into this year to make this year a little bit easier for you?
Just, you gotta race everyone with respect and just can't just go out there and wreck shit. And,
You can't. You just tell it the way it is. This is what we do on LDE.
and yeah, just gotta be clean and respectful to everyone.
Yeah. So, you're obviously gonna continue to race at Shellhammers. Do you venture anywhere else, like on the weekends with your
Yeah.
125?
We went to we were going to Lanco this year a few times, and then last year we went to Greenwood and won one race, got second our first time out with the wing.
Nice. Very nice.
So,
So you like the wing?
I like wingless better.
Yeah. Get rid of the crutch. Get rid of the crutch. So your sponsor is kind enough to step up for us on opening night for Lowdown Entertainment Night, and this your sponsor is the Frable Processing, and you're going to be handing out some beef sticks and meat sticks for people that are going to be. How freaking cool is that, man?
Yeah.
We're going to get some smoked meat goods. So if you have extra for the LDE people, that would be cool.
And the tower people.
And the tower people, we like that kind of stuff. Yeah, so you're looking forward to this year. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Are you jonesing? It's time to go. Yeah, it is. Well, listen, I appreciate you being put on the spot and coming up here and talking about what you got going on next year. And thank you so much to your sponsor, and we thank you and appreciate what you're going to be doing for us next week.
I got a quick question.
Yes.
Are both ends of the track the same? Everybody says they run 1 and 2 a little different than 3 and 4. Are both ends of the track the same?
Yes and no. It matters if you're underneath someone.
Okay.
Both ends are different. But if you're running like by yourself and you're just trying to get away from everyone, they're basically the same.
Okay.
That's an interesting answer.
It is. It's a very interesting answer. Awesome. Well, thank you, Chase. I appreciate it so much. Thanks for your time, bud. And good luck this year, buddy. I would like to get Miss Lindsay Garl up here if I could. The 2022 Shellhammer Slingshot Champion and 2023 Miss Motorsports, Miss Lindsay Garl. How are you, honey?
I am good. How are you?
I'm freaking fabulous. So, first of all, I'm going to get this out of the way.
Okay.
You're doing some interviewing stuff now, too, just like now you're the interviewee instead of the interviewer. So, you got some things cooking with that also.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. So I was trying to brainstorm a couple of different names for the video blog, but came up with In the Groove, and I really like it. Derica helped me with the graphics.
Derica Boucher?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. At Derica May Designs, she helped me in like 10 minutes. I had this, I use Procreate on my iPad.
Yeah.
And I was like drawing this graphic, and I was like, what do you think of this? And she just made like an actual graphic, and I was like, you just put me to shame. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
see
embarrassed.
That, and you thought us graphic guys were having fun the whole time.
Yeah, but she did that in like 5 minutes, and I was like,
That's
oh my
awesome.
gosh.
Good for you. Well, I wish you much success with this whole new endeavor you got going on here, and much success with the reigning Miss Motorsports title that you have. That is so cool. So you were flagging on, what was that, Saturday at Selinsgrove?
Baps.
Oh, it was at Baps. I'm
Yep,
sorry. That's right.
yep.
So isn't that a little scary up there?
A little bit, and I was
It's-
a little worried that the crown was gonna fly off. I was told to hold tight on the flag,
Yeah, don't
so
drop
I was
the
just
flag.
scared up there.
Yeah,
Everyone
so
was
you-
like, hold tight.
Yeah, you're going to be getting into a lot of new things this year and a whole bunch of new opportunities to do different things like that. Is that stepping out of your comfort zone, or is this like right in your wheelhouse and you want to just try different and new and exciting stuff?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of tracks that I go to that I haven't been to. There's gonna be a lot of times when I'm gonna be just with myself.
Right.
So that's a lot of the reason why I wanted to start this vlog, was because I don't want to just go to the track and just kind of like be by myself and watching the races and then go to Victory Lane. I want to, interact with fans and get some footage behind the scenes, get footage with the fans, with drivers,
Right.
just to stay busy, and then do whatever I can. When I ask tracks, if I'm able to get like a media pass or credentials, I don't just want to go and sit. I want to make use
do
of my
something.
time.
Yeah,
and
that's
help them
awesome.
out.
I commend you for that. Now, will being Miss Motorsports this year conflict with your racing schedule at all?
Well, I think my dad is hoping it does.
Yeah.
But it's hard because we were talking about, he's been saying the past few years that we're not going to race every Wednesday, but we ended up racing
You're
every
there.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, and we have our spot, but we are, I do definitely want to take that chance of defending my title. But I also, there are a few, I actually just finished my schedule like last night and today, but there's a couple races on a Wednesday that it might, like, I would have to miss racing.
Yeah.
But I'm really trying to just schedule everything the way that I can that I don't miss. And then also with my family racing on Saturdays too. They understand that, it's just this year.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely trying to make it to certain events on Saturdays as well.
That's great stuff. And you have such a lineage of racing. Your grandfather, Dennis Garl, ran a sprint car for many years. Actually still has a sprint car. Is he planning on taking that out at all this year?
So I'm praying, but he has a lot to do to it, and he funds it all from himself and his hard work. So unfortunately, I'm just not sure with how much that we got to do. We need like a whole new steering system.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot, and he says he's getting older, but to me, he's like the most physically fit person I know.
He's so ready to go.
Yeah.
So we have Grandpa Dennis, and then your father, Dennis II,
Yeah.
okay, who also races a slingshot and has actually competed against you. Now, So you whoop up on Pops a little bit. I used to tease Pops about that all the time at the shop. And so you whoop up on him. Is there a mashed potato fight at dinner that night, or is everything kind of cool? Is he's happy to see that, or is it very competitive with the two of you?
No, it's cool. I mean, I love doing it. And there's one night that came to mind when you were just talking, asking that. I brought a cake it was at Linda's, and I brought a cake and I brought it out to him because it was his birthday. And we're singing happy birthday to him, and he's like narrating along as we're singing, and he's like, your daughter kicked your ass again. So we make light of it. It's a fun time.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So then we have Grandpop, we have Dad, we have you, and then we also have DG3. Your little brother is also racing now. He is racing a go-kart, and will he be in competition this year as well?
Yeah.